Hello and welcome to Walter Doodles Art. I am Walter and I want to thank you for coming by today. I'm changing up. I've been doing a lot of Sumi ink and today I am going to be going in a different direction. And it is going to be involving these pens. These are all fountain pens. I'm going to go through them one by one. I probably am not going to use these two. I think I'm going to go with these two. But we're going to go through what we have here. This was the first of what is called Peter pens that I had gotten. This is the signature edition fine point. I have used it. Absolutely beautiful pen. It did come with instructions. You'll see that in the newer pens that I have. What it is a fountain pen. You unscrew the cap. Many fountain pens you can pull and the cap comes off, and then you've got this fine point with a nice iridium tip. It's got a really nice feeder. I call that a fipple because that looks similar to what's in a recorder. There's a issue called a fipple. And what I'm hoping you can see this. I'm going to put the cap down as I do this. There is a piston in here. Can you see that thing moving? Okay, it moves up and down, and what it is this whole body from here to here will fill up with ink. Now this pen was designed for Peter Draws. His name is actually Peter Deligdisch, I believe. He's in North Carolina. Fantastic artist, very, very kind of modern art. As you can see here, this is one of his little sketches that he did specifically for this pen. And I just had to get it. I follow him on YouTube, and you are going to be able to see a link to his channel and his website. He is a different type of artist. I really enjoy what he does. He is very talented, very funny, young man, 33, somewhere in that age. And anyway, these pens, after several years of doing his art channel, and he really used a lot of fountain pens. Now these are normally made for writing, and I've got lots of fountain pens. I love them. But he did them with drawing, and I picked up trying to start drawing with them. I just kind of doodle around with them, a little bit like what he does, but not quite as good. It does have a tool, which is not going to come into play probably, but this is so you can take the pen apart and really clean it well, which I can see with this one. I need to do that. I didn't do a good job of it last time that I used it. Anyway, this is the second one he made, or actually it was made by Nahvalur, which is a pen company that is very famous for making a very fine mechanism where the body of the pen is the reservoir. More often than not, you either use a cartridge or you buy what's called a piston converter, and you use those to fill up with the ink. Fountain pen ink is very specific. We'll get into that in just a bit. This is the second one I bought, and it is called the Peter Draws Sky Blue pen. This is another one that's fine. Again, it's made by Nahvalur. There's a user guide here, and it shows you all the things you need to do in order to fill the pen and This is another pen. I have used it a couple times. Really fine pen. This is a little card he just kind of made, and it's by Peter Deligdisch, I think. Deligdisch. He goes by Peter Draws on his YouTube channel, so that's all I really care about. Beautiful signature, even though I can't really read the last one. Deligdisch. I believe that's his name. Anyway, you can check him out. This is the sky blue. Again, it's much like the signature edition, the second version of that I have, where it has this pattern kind of on it. No two of these pens are alike, and they come numbered because they were very, very limited edition pens. He had some that were even made out of, like, with gold in them and things like that, so really limited edition. I don't have that kind of money. This one you might be able to see it a little bit easier, but if you turn this bottom part, you see that piston that's moving up? That's what you do, is you push that piston all the way to the top here, you dip your pen in a bottle of ink, and then you turn it the other way, and it sucks the ink up, and it'll fill it up from the top of the piston all the way. So half this body, a little bit more, would be filled with ink. Nice pen. This is another one. It's a fine point. Beautiful drawing pen, beautiful writing pen. I used to carry this around and take notes when I'd take pictures for the newspaper, things like that. Anyway, this is the Peter Sky Blue. The Peter Pen Sky Blue. So the second edition, that was the second pen he had made. This was the third, I believe, that he had made, and they were made by Narwhal. They just saw his channel, they liked what he was doing, and he worked with him to come up with designs for some pens. I don't think I'm going to use these today. I want to go and do something that I have not done, and that is these Nahvalur pens. These are a little bit early or later. I've had them for about a year. Pardon me, but I've never used them. They come finely boxed. This one is the Nahvalur Original Peter Plume Fine Tipped. This one is the Nahvalur Original Peter Plume Stub Tip. So we're going to find out the difference between these two. Again, it does come with some instructions on how Narwhal pens are to be used. By the way, I will also put in a link to where you can get Narwhal pens if you like. I have several. I love them. I have yet to find one that I do not like. This one is the stub, I believe. Yes, this is the stub nose, or the stub point. And it's a little bit broader. Let me see if I can bring that up so you can see. It has a flat, so it's going to make a nice fine line. It looks like this one does not have an iridium tip, which I'm not surprised with the stub nose. But it looks like the stainless steel nib has been carbon plated. So that is, I have several pens like that. I like what happens when you do carbon plate pens. It makes them a real smooth drawing experience. Again, you turn the piston and you can see it goes up, and then you suck it back when you've got the nib inside a bottle of ink. You can see there's just this fine, detailed doodling all over the outside of the pen. I believe these ones, again, no two pens will probably have quite the same doodling on it. So I believe that each pen is individual. It's got a beautiful acrylic finish. I don't know if that part is acrylic. It feels like it could be. It's a nice solid pen. It's a little heavy. I like that. That is metal. The pocket clip. And that feels like metal. The little detail on the cap there. Very beautiful pen. Just absolutely gorgeous. I'm looking forward to using this. So this will be the Nahvalur Original Peter Plume Snub. These aren't Narwhal. These are Nahvalur, but they're made just like Narwhal. And I don't know if Narwhal makes Nahvalur or not. I think I did call it a Narwhal pen earlier. It is not. It is a Nahvalur pen. So we are going to fill this one up, and we're going to be drawing with it. And we will also fill up this one. Again, it comes with a user guide, how to fill it up, things like that. This one is the fine tip pen. Again, we'll show you the tip on this one. Again, it looks like it's carbon. It has, I think I can feel that it has an iridium tip. So it's going to be a stainless steel that's carbon plated with an iridium tip. And then the other construction is the same. I want to just look at these and see. I do not know if I'm seeing that they are the same. Okay, the pattern on these ones, it's engraved. It's not just part of some swirly pattern that's mixed in with the body of the pen. This one is actually engraved, and then it looks like it's been filled with some kind of a black substance, and they are the same. So these ones aren't going to be as individual as the other two pens, but that's not going to upset me. Again, they are a good feel pen, nice and heavy. I like heavy pens. This is going to be fun. So let me go ahead and put these two things aside, and we're going to fill these pens up, give them a test run, and then we're going to do some drawing. And these came with these Nahvalur pens. These are just little sketchbooks, thread bound. They're stitched together. And this is from Peter Draws, as you can see there. And Nahvalur.com, I'll put a link for that in the paper as well. They're slightly yellow paper, and they have little dots, so they have a little grid to them. And these are just little tiny sketchbooks that come with those Nahvalur Plum pens. So we're going to be drawing in one of these. Little drawing, but that's okay. This is what we're going to be drawing with. Something out of here. I have several inks here, and I need to choose. I have some Higgins Sepia. I don't know about this particular ink. I have a feeling it might be India ink, and if so, I do not want to put that inside a fountain pen because it'll clog it up. I have this is an old inkwell, and I'm going to have to somehow get it out of there. And it looks like the ink is almost dried up. I believe this is ink I made, so that will not go in the pen either. But I do have several I can choose from. I have some Parker Blue. Again, it's fairly old. This was the first bottle of ink I ever had. I have since gotten to the point where I prefer red. I haven't used that in a long time. This is Lamy, and it's a deep, kind of a crimson red. Lamy is another pen I will be using sometime in the future. This is made by Platinum, and it is just platinum black ink. Good ink. I'm not going to use that. This is also by Platinum, and it's called Carbon ink. This I'm going to use. This is my go-to ink. I have a bottle of this at work that I fill up my pens at work if I run out. The reason I like this platinum carbon ink, and I will leave a description for platinum, a link for platinum in the where I get my inks in the description as well. I like the carbon ink for a couple reasons. If you get it all over your fingers, it washes off very easy. The other reason I like this kind of ink is because it dries very quickly. I have learned, and you're probably going to see this, smearing when I'm drawing with fountain pens comes with the territory. But I am going to use this ink, so we'll be filling one of the pens with that. Here we have some Noodlers. No, this is not. Yeah, this is Noodlers ink, and it's called the Heart of Darkness. It's a beautiful ink. It's getting down to the point where I have to use the stopper to actually put it inside an ink well to suck ink into it and then just put the rest back. But I don't think I'm going to use that because I've already got a black ink in there. I'm not going to use this. This is white light, black light. This is also by Noodler. It's called the Blue Ghost. It's actually invisible ink until you put it underneath like a black light, and then you can see it. And I think that that is something, I've never used it. That's something I'm going to save. Somewhere I have a black light and I can't find it. So I'm going to look for it, find it, and then do a video by black light. But I'll probably use a different pen for that. I do have this, which is beautiful. It's asa-gao by Iroshizuku. This is some beautiful ink. It's a dark, dark blue. It's by Pilot. I've used this ink a couple times. It's a Japanese ink made in Japan. That's Higgins. That is India ink. I will not put that in one of my pens. Those are for dip pens. Here's some Monteverde ink. I like Monteverde. I've had several bottles of ink by them that I've used up. I think this is the first Monteverde that is actually color. It's Horizon Blue. So I think it's between one of these two. Horizon Blue or asa-gao. Let's go with the asa-gao. We'll use the Horizon Blue another time. I think I'll put this in the snub nose pen, and I will put the carbon ink in the fine tip pen. So that goes in the fine tip, that goes in the snub nose. So let's go ahead and fill up our pens. To do that, you need to have some paper towels. This can be a messy situation, or it can go very smoothly, and I don't really have much of a mess. So, our two pens that we're going to use, there's the snub nose pen, and there's the fine tip pen. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the snub nose pen, and very carefully, ooh, that's a nice blue. I'm going to use this for mostly highlights, if you will, just to give it a little something different on the page. I could use the red and really go for some high contrast, but I don't think I will. So anyway, we put the piston all the way up. You're going to notice I'm going to draw ink in, then I'm going to push it back out and do that again. Sometimes I have to do it 3 times. It just depends, but not very often. You want to put I'm going to try to get it down to about where it needs to be. Do you see how far up on the tip I've gotten? Just in that area. If you come way up here, it's not a big deal, but you have to clean all that off. And why go through all that kind of work if you don't have to? So we're going to draw the ink into it. It's drawing fairly well, but it's only about halfway filled, so I push the ink back out without taking the pen out of the ink, and then I pull it in again, and there we are. and I pushed it in too far. You can see I've got it all over the pen. That's okay, it'll clean up. I'm about 3/4 full in the body of the pen. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean that off. Okay, there's our snub nose with the blue, the asa-gao. And with the platinum carbon ink, we're going to go with the fine tip pen. Get the piston all the way up to the top. There is a gap. I don't know if you can see that. You see the gap between the piston and the ring, the retainer ring on this. So I don't ever expect to be able to fill this all the way. But since this holds probably about 3 times as much as any cartridge or any converter cartridge, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'll end up putting the ink right back into the bottles and we're not getting any ink in there. Why is that? Am I almost out? I may be almost out, so I need to tip the bottle. There we are. And as you can see, it's about half full. So we're going to put it back in, undo it all the way out, and fill it one more time. And now we're at about 3/4 full. So it'll flow out a little differently, but there at the top of my fingernail is to there. That's the amount that's not filled. The rest is filled. Let me cap the pen. I actually didn't make too bad of a mess today. I have had that stuff all over my hands before. That was easy. This is one of the things I really like about these type of pens that use the body, if they're well made. I have a couple brands, I'm not going to mention them, but they are the same idea, where the body is the reservoir. So, there we go. I got one little tiny speck of ink on me. Carbon ink by Platinum, asa-gao by Iroshizuku. There we go. Now I'm going to grab me a tiny little, do a little bit of testing. So I got some Soho sketch paper here. I'm just going to grab a sheet out. We're going to give these a little bit of a test run, and then we'll get to drawing. Now you get to see the differences in these pens. So here we've got the fine tip pen. This is filled with the platinum. No, this is the asa-gao. Let's go ahead and test that out. This is the blue ink. It's the snub nose. I want to check something out. I like pens that the cap posts. That's a good post. It doesn't want to come off just automatically. You actually have to make sure you pull it off, but gently. Don't push, but you just push a little. It posts. That makes it a nice long pen, and I like the way that will just be in the crook of my thumb and index finger. So let's see what kind of lines this thing makes. Nice. It's a nice broad line. Beautiful blue ink. And you've got a varying thickness with the line. As you use it, you can go a thin line. You go the other way, it's a thick line. So we've got good lines with this. Nice flow. It's not scratchy on the page. Let's go with speed, some scribble. Nice. There was no hesitation at all. Sign my signature. I love it. That's a beautiful pen. Now let's go for some coverage. So we're going to have a little bit there and just fill her up. Here you're going to really get to see the color of this blue ink. That's a nice pen, and that's a nice ink. It's got a nice look to it. Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to this drawing. Just like the narwhal signature and the sky blue Peter pens, this is a well-made pen. Feels good in the hand. I like the roughness of that design that's on the body. It actually gives you something of a grip on your fingers, which the signature series and the sky blue didn't have. I still like the way they felt, but this one feels good. It's a good long enough pen where I can hold it away from the nib. I don't like really holding things right up at the nib. I like to be a little distance away. So this is it. This is a nice little pen. Really decent. There was not one bit of hesitation with the ink flow, so we've got a good feeder. There we go. There's the snub nose pen. Now let's go ahead and test out the fine tip pen. This is with a platinum carbon black ink. Again, it posts really nice. You actually have to pull it off with some determination. I like that. Feels good. Same pen except for the tip. Feels good. Nice and heavy. Let's see what we got here. There's a nice fine tip. No variation. It is just a fine line. That's nice. Very nice. Let's give it a speed test. I didn't see any hesitation at all. I probably won't be using this very much for this purpose, but we're going to go ahead and see how this nib does at filling in an area. There's one of the reasons. If you look at this, now with a fine tip, I'm not expecting to actually black it out because it's almost impractical. You're going to wear through the page to do that with a fine tip. But this is one of the reasons I like the platinum carbon ink. It is a dark, dark ink. And I love dark black. But that shows you a little bit. Very nice. Let's see how it does with my signature. Absolutely flawless. Good pen. Very nice. And this is cheapo paper. It's good sketch paper, but it's not expensive. It's really not made for this. It's made for pencil, but that's okay. All right. So we have our Nahvalur, Peter Plume, snub, Nahvalur, Peter Plume, fine. Blue and black. And we have our sketch pad, which I've never used yet. So this will be my first sketch with these pens. I'll be back in just a minute. Last thing that I want to state, because this actually is among the most important things that you need when you're going to be doing a drawing like this: cup of coffee. I'll see you in a bit. Okay. I am ready to go ahead and we're going to get going on a little doodle here. Don't know exactly what I have in mind, but I think what I'm going to do is I am going to be putting together a portrait. Very modern in how it looks. Light, a little glare there, isn't there? Let me try to correct that a little bit if I can. That might be a little better. Okay, so what I have is I have the Peter pen. This is the Nahvalur fine point with the platinum carbon ink. That dries very quickly. And I have the Peter pen Nahvalur, and it is a broad point, more like a calligraphy pen. Asa-gao is the color, and this is by Iroshizuku. That is an ink I am not too familiar with. I got it a while ago. I've never really used it. I'm going to probably use this blue. It's a dark blue, so it may not have a lot of contrast with the black, but I'm probably going to use this for highlights and use the carbon black for most of my drawing. And of course I've got this little sketch pad that came with the pens. We're just going to start here on page 1. Now I don't know exactly how water fast or any of this is, so I'm going to be doing something, leak fast. Some of these sketch pads and paper will leak through very quickly, so we are going to do some testing on that as we are going along. And I'm putting a piece of sacrifice paper in between, that in case it leaks through, it's not going to get onto the next page. So we are going to find that part out for right now. These came free with the Peter pens. I think I said that in the introduction. And here we go. So I don't really have, I do have my coffee, very important. Share a swallow with you. I can share a swallow, can't I? So we are going to go ahead and we are going to start. This will be a portrait of somebody who is not going to look like anybody we know when I am done. Okay, so there is my first line. Let me see what we've got here. You can see it, I think. Do you see how it's leaked through? So this is not very, it's not very thick paper. I can tell that right away. I'm not going to complain. These were free with the pens. So we're going to just go with it and see how we do. Okay. Like I said, this is more doodling than what I would call fine art by any means. I enjoy a good doodle now and then, so we're just gonna go with it and see where it takes us. I like to do a lot of shapes that don't really have necessarily a goal in mind as I'm going along. Usually when I'm doing these, I like to listen to some good music But today, I'm just going to talk to you once in a while, and we'll see where it takes us. Alright, so I think this will be his right eye, the eye on the left for us. And here we are. Yeah, I'm gonna make this his right eye. That'll work. Why not? My doodles have a tendency to just go all over the place. Usually I don't have any kind of figure in mind for them. But I think today we're going to make an exception on that. It is going to be a face. I beg your pardon. Okay, so we are going to make this his left eye. Of course, for us it's the eye on the right. Okie dokie. Sometimes when I doodle, I have a tendency to put all kinds of different patterns in it. This one today, I have a feeling, is not going to be quite like that. I'm going to be sticking with curves, circles. I want this one to be a little bit more with some kind of a textural or shape theme in mind. I'm not sure how to describe what I'm trying to say there, but it's going to be all arcs and circles, not a lot of straight lines. I love straight lines, but I think today we're just going to go with it the way we have it here and see where it takes us. That'll be fun. Okay, I kind of like that. I've put this figure in there quite a bit, like a half leaf in a way. I kind of like that, and I think I want to keep that kind of going. This will be the top of the head. We'll bring it on around to about there. Of course, he's going to need hair. So we're going to give him some hair. Oh, it's going to be a little bit like Heat Miser. From what was that movie? A Year Without a Santa Claus? I think, if I remember right. Those are the Rankin and Bass Christmas movies that I really enjoy. I have a whole collection of them, every Christmas I just become a little kid and I've got to watch him again. So that'll be his hair. This won't be a very long drawing, I don't think. I think it's going to actually be pretty quick. And we'll go there. I'm not going to give him a nostril on the other side. I think that'll work. Alright, let's see. We're going to come on down, make the top of the lip, and bring that on over to there. He needs teeth. I think this one's going to be a little bit on the sarcastic side. I want this figure to be slightly irreverent. So we're going to give him a tongue. That'll be his tongue sticking out. He needs his teeth. So we're going to give him a few teeth here. Like I said, this is not high art. It is not high art in the slightest. Okay. A nice high cheekbone. Let's give him that. Let's see. He needs a lower lip. Okay. Now, this part is all going to be filled in black. This may really show up now. When I get this in, we'll turn the page over and just see how much leakage it does have through the paper to the other side. I do use some papers that don't leak. I'll tell you one thing, this pen is absolutely a beautiful smooth writer. It even, for fine point, it fills in quickly. The ink flows very nice. Very little scratchiness. It's almost like writing with a piece of glass. It's just so smooth. Absolutely smooth. I can hardly wait to get into some of the highlights that I want to do, or lowlights, however you look at it. I have a feeling that blue is going to be almost as dark as this, so there may not be the ton of contrast that you would expect in everything. Let's see, let's go ahead and fill in the pupils, because those are going to be black. Alright. Let's take a look at the other side of this page and just see how much bleed, that's the word I've been looking for, bleed through there is. Yeah. I'm going to really bring this up, let you really see. That's a lot of bleed, actually. Especially for this carbon ink by Platinum, because it usually dries so quick it doesn't have a chance to bleed through too much. So anyway, at this point, that's the least of anything that I would ever have to complain about. So because what I bought was not the sketchbook, I bought the pen, and that's the thing that I always wanted. So I am not going to be complaining about a little bleed through with the freebie sketchbook. It is as smooth. This is a beautiful writing pen. This would be good for writing. It's wonderful for doodling. Get into a little more stuff I want to do up here on the hair. One of the things when I'm doodling is I don't like to fill everything in a row. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the clumps of hair. I'm leaving the first one blank on the left, and I'm going to leave the third one blank. I'm going to fill in the second one. The fourth one is now the one I'm working on with just some wavy lines. And the sixth one. I like that kind of inconsistency. Is that the right word that I'm looking for? And I'll probably do a lot of that with these little circles, but I haven't decided yet whether I want to do some lines to fill some of those in, or do I want to use the blue. Let's see, what else do we need here? He needs a chin. So we're going to give him a chin right about like here. There we go. And I'm going to give him a little bit of a shirt with a collar. And a tie. And that'll just travel off the page there. Alright. Let me see. Let's go ahead. We're going to fill that nostril in. I don't think I'll give him a nostril on the other side. But I do want to extend that laugh line. There. I think I want to put lines in under here. So nice curves. We'll take the first and the third one. And we'll just do the second one on the other side here. We'll do the first and third one here. And here. Okay, I think I'm going to highlight these that are on top. We'll do the second one here with some lines. Okay, need one more right there. So we're going to do the first one on the right this time, and the third one. Don't ask me why I'm funny that way. And this one. I have these little leaf patterns here. I'm going to leave those alone. I don't think I want those filled in. I think I want to blue highlight this, blue highlight that. This one I'm going to just fill in with black. And that also is going to dictate where I start the blue fill-ins. Highlight, not really, fill-ins on these. So I will have the second, fourth, and sixth one, and that I'm going to fill in as well with the black. That worked out good. I didn't really plan that out. It just little serendipity. So there that is. Okay, blue fills, blue fills. The teeth I'm going to leave. Probably do some blue on the tie. I think I'm ready to start putting in the blue. So now we're going to test out this pen and this ink, the asa-gao. Let's see what kind of a color we get with that. Alright. First of all, I think I want that little circle. First thing. Let's take a quick look. Wow, that's right there. It really bleeds through. This ink, I have a feeling, is going to bleed through worse than the platinum carbon ink. Ooh, it's a nice dark blue. So really, it's going to be almost looking monochromatic. It isn't monochromatic, but it's going to have a lot of that feeling. This is a deep, rich, dark blue. I think this particular shape that I'm filling in right now is going to bleed through like crazy. Again, the pen, very smooth, very well made. I may have to do another video here soon where I compare these Nahvalurs to the Narwhal Peter pens. I'm trying to remember. I know I remember I liked the Narwhal pens that were made for Peter either Deligdisch or Deligdisch. I think that's his actual name. We'll just have to compare them together in another video. This is a beautiful tool as well. It's just absolutely smooth writing. Okay, the pens. Right at the moment, if I on a score of 1 to 10, they were easy to fill. I haven't cleaned them yet. I may address that in another video, but I really don't clean them until I've used them up, and I will be using these up before too long, so it won't be part of this video. I did want to see this blue that I've done the fills. Let's really look at this big area that I filled. Look at how much bleed through. It even bled through where there's stuff on the sacrifice piece of paper there. So I give the sketchbook right at this point a 4. The reason it gets a 4 is it came with the pens. It was free. That's not what I was buying. I was buying the pen. I give the pens a 10. 1 to 10, I give them a 10. There's another thing with these sketchbooks. They're very tiny. As you can see, I mean, here's the length of my pen. It actually is longer than the sketchbook is tall. It is just the same width, barely longer. The sketchbook, 2 pages across, it's barely longer than the pen itself. I've got a millimeter on this side here. Whoops, I keep bumping the pen. I got a millimeter of page here and about the same here. So this is a very small sketchbook. That's okay. It's probably a sketchbook eventually I'll fill up. It's not going to be one that I am going out of my way to draw in the future. Let's see. Yeah, the eye doesn't really show up. Differentiating between the pupil and the iris, not a lot I can do with that. What else did I want to do here? Let's go ahead and we're going to give some pattern with the blue to the tie. And I think that's really all I want to do with the blue. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Give him a shoulder on this side. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to sign it. Not initial it, I'm going to sign it. I use Alien script when I do any fountain pen or dip pen art. I sign it in Alien script. That's a W. This is an A. This is an L. And I think that may be my next video, is I might go ahead and go through what Alien script is and how to develop your own alphabet for Alien script. I'll give you even a little bit of history. It's named after the person who actually invented. And there we are. Just a simple little doodle. It's just easy peasy. Again, thank you for watching Walter Doodles art. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's a little different, but if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. And watch this video to the end. Let me know that you did. I love to read your comments, and I will respond. It takes me a couple weeks sometimes, but I will respond to all of them. And in the meantime, God bless you, and have a wonderful day. Bye.